So where do I look at? The camera or you guys? Or?
You can look at whatever you want. We usually just do like a simple conversation.
Okay. Oh. Sorry. I always got the crazy hair. I think I'm gonna cut it this weekend.
Like this?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
That's not cutting. You gotta shave it.
Shut up. A fade isn't the only cut that you can get.
What do you mean?
You said like that, it's not getting cut.
Oh, well, you want to cut it all off? That's a different story.
No, I'm just... I thought you meant like if I don't get a fade, that doesn't mean it's not cut.
Oh, no. I'm saying like if you don't cut it short, like it's not... Like you're just trimming it, it's different.
It's still cut. What's happening when the scissors are going by your hair, Louis? You want to do the intro or not?
Do whatever you want.
Welcome to another episode of the Unpopular podcast. We're here with our good friend Jaquin. We got a little theme here. We do random dab ups, so stay tuned for more of those. Louis, I'm gonna hand it off to you, and we're gonna do it like that hot potato. You give it to reveal later.
Wait, what? The handshake or the intro?
Both.
Okay. We're here with a good. I would say. I've known him for a pretty long time. We've never been close, but I'd say I've known you from afar, and you've always been a pretty nice person from what I've known. You know, we used to see each other at the field sometime once in a while. I think it was you've been talking to you earlier. It was just you're kind of an inspiration to a lot of people here, and I hope people get to know you more, and we'll see what you're about. Yeah, but how you been since high school, bro? How's everything?
I've been good. You know, chilling, working. I didn't go to college, so.
I know that, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
but no one did, bro. No one did.
I mean, nowadays it's like you need a career, but people are viewing more your experience.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yes.
Because
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
In my field, we hire engineers, mechanical engineers, architects, everything. And most of them come to interviews just straight out of college. But when you view their application, it's like, okay, you have the qualifications, but I'm missing the experience because the book and real life is two different things. The book is going to tell you got to do all 10 steps, but in the real world, you have to skip those steps because it doesn't apply to the real world. And it's like, it's all structural. You just need experience now.
You think school is just a sell as
it's
like,
not
sell out or it's not?
That's why I think it's always more specifically on-site training. Like it's like if you teach someone how to do a job, I think
they'll learn
that job. Like
yes, but it's also the person who's teaching it.
Yeah.
Because
obviously
you could have 10 students, right? But if the teacher's bad, maybe only 2 are actually going to learn something. So you need to have the inspiration to like teach these kids, and then also get the people that want to learn. Because not everybody wants to learn.
Yeah, not everyone's hungry for it.
But that was always a problem around here, right? You always have the kids that want to do something, but it might not be something that the people are offering. You know, like a lot of people want to do a lot of art stuff. There's some kids that did want to do some, let's say, like a trade, electrical, soldering. They don't have that here, and they don't want to have that here. I guess they only want to focus on the STEM shit.
It's actually not that they don't want to. It's planned. I remember when I worked in the city for a little while, for like the summer programs or whatever. They did talk that right in front of right here, all that block from 27th to like 30. You know the building in the middle right here?
What street?
Right here in front of the. What's the street? This is 26, right?
This is 26. Yeah.
All right. So right in front of it, on the corner, you see that building that's all like.
Oh, the DPW building.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So all of that was actually supposed to get brought down, and they were gonna build like trade schools.
Okay.
That wasn't the plans. I remember this back like in 2014.
You think that's what they're doing now? Because they're finally being set up to be taken down.
It all takes money, and it's all what helps me out first. So, I mean, politics works like this. I don't want to get too much, but.
You can say what you can talk about whatever you want.
So it's like, I give you this, right? And you take it, but when I need you back, you come and pay.
Yeah.
So giving the free turkeys out. I'm not mentioning who.
Yeah.
I need your own now.
But now you need the
roses.
Exactly. So you give people, and it's a good. It's a good. I'm not saying good scheme. It's a good.
Tactic.
Yes. So now, what's your next phase? So it's like, hey, we want to help our kids out. So, do this for me, and then I build this for you.
It's a professional like gang. That's all it is. It's a professional.
It's illegal.
It's a legal gang.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, from when I was there, that's what I learned.
What did you do? You just helped out with the summer shit, the recreational.
They sent me. The first year was DPW. The second year.
Wait, because you did CBE, right? Or
CBE.
what?
CBE.
For like the high school when they sent you to work, they didn't send you to the DPW, did they?
Yeah.
What was I say?
They did.
Yeah.
The school, the high school. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, it's the Department of Public Works, so they can send you to anywhere. So the first year, they had me in the parking authority, I think on 45th Street,
Yeah.
upstairs.
In between Bergen Line and
Yeah, Kennedy. So I
Gotcha.
was there, and that's where I learned all of this. And then the second year, they had me picking up trash with the trash cans, like in the street.
Did you make good money out of that?
It was like. How much were we getting paid? Like $7.50 an hour. Well, remember back
Well,
then,
at the time, yeah.
at that time,
yeah.
it was $7.50 an hour.
Minimum wage is 15 now.
So it's 15. So we've come a long way.
It's not a good thing. I don't think raising the minimum wage is the best.
Well, the more you raise, look, I'll put it to like this. Many people say that they don't have enough money. Well, what lifestyle are you trying to live? The one you could afford, or the one you?
Yeah.
The one you want.
I feel like
Yeah, but all our life we
a
just
better
haven't had money.
solution would have just been to get rid of tipping culture and like pay the actual people their wages, because minimum wage was like $8 or whatever, but then like the people who were working like waiters and stuff, they were getting like $2 because of tips.
Well, actually, as a waiter, you get $2.35 an hour.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Still to this day.
I'm pretty sure.
It doesn't even no, because it doesn't go up, right? It just stays
No,
the same.
it's just yeah.
Stays.
Because the tips. I mean, you live off tips.
Mhm.
Actually, when I worked in Johnny Rockets, that's how it was.
Did you make more money there when you moved out of McDonald's? You think?
Fridays and Saturdays, yes.
You did.
Because it's like all these drunk people
Oh.
that go in there. Because Johnny Rockets closes at 3 in the morning.
Which one? The one in Hoboken?
Yeah, that's the only one.
Oh.
I mean, there's
No,
one
there's
in
one in the
Newport,
mall.
but that one closes.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're ever at a bar and they close like at 2:00 and you need a bathroom, just go to Johnny Rockets.
Mm.
Johnny Rocket sells like $20 burgers.
They
But they're
no,
good.
they're like 11.
Yeah.
You know,
But no, like if you actually do need a bathroom, you can go in there.
Thank you for the.
Thank you for the tip. We're going on a binge. We know where to stop.
You're on a road trip and you need to take a piss, bro. You need to Google Johnny Rockets.
Anywhere. Johnny Rockets anywhere, and they'll guide
You got a Burger King right in front of you. Johnny
Fuck that.
Rockets. 3 miles out.
On a good night in Johnny Rockets, you can make $275 to $300.
Damn.
That's not bad. So that was your Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
So let's say, you were making collectively out of the week maybe like $600.
Maybe less, because then you gotta pay the stores.
What do you mean? By
So what I mean is, if they were paid in cash, you hold out that money. Well, then when you get your receipt, it tells you your amount, what you owe to the store.
that? Oh, what is that?
Percentage of the tips
And then
go
you
back
still
to
gotta
the-
register all those tips to the machine for your
Mhm.
taxes and stuff like that.
That's disgusting.
So theoretically, I mean, weekly you could probably take. I mean, that's in a
and
good
they're
day, like I
taxing the
said.
$2 they're giving.
Exactly, they're taxing you the $2.
Mm.
So.
They are giving you the free bathroom though.
That was,
They're not even making the
perks out
$2.30 or whatever.
No.
They're making like $1. Say about $1 like $8.90 or something like that.
Yeah. So like for instance, let's say you make like a good $4.50 a week.
Okay. Which was relatively the same thing you were making.
Yeah, but the thing is, when I was there, I was also the cashier. So
At,
I was getting I was actually getting $8 to as a cashier and. at the
And
same
tips?
time- Yeah.
Oh, you're
So-
a thief.
I was
You're a
getting half
professional
that
thief.
as a busboy in Houlihan, so I know the struggle, even though like I wasn't a server.
But it's still.
What about what do you think about the politics in the McDonald's game? What do you think about that?
Wait, before we continue, because we're probably not gonna get a chance.
Right.
You're a server, right?
Yeah.
What's the trick?
To hold a tray?
Yeah. What's the trick?
Oh wait, for the plates or for the tray?
For the for the
So that's
plates.
5 plates.
What's the
the
trick?
most
and
I
how
ever
do
done
you-
was 3.
Is it just angling?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes, it's just
centering.
positioning.
Yeah. So
You just gotta like position it all.
for me, it's like I would put the most heavy plate here,
Uh huh.
and then the lightest one here.
This fucking.
And then the most I did was 3.
I've never like the amount of confidence I've seen people doing it on both. I'm like, yo,
that's crazy.
but wait, what do you do? How do you catch? like it's like
but
you're
they're
not gonna go.
hustling though. Yeah. I've seen some short Mexican guys just come out of that kitchen running, bro, with 5 plates on each hand.
Yeah, because
that's heavy.
That's
like
because
that's like a $40 meal. I mean, 40-pound meal though.
And then somebody come out of your pocket.
Some of those
but it's like I feel like that walking fast is when they stepped away, it already started to slip. So they're like, okay.
No, but we use trays most of the time.
That's good. Yeah,
That's
you don't risk it.
I mean, it was so heavy.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you would have to carry that tray, and then you have to carry that little.
No, we didn't have.
Oh, you didn't have that little
No.
thing. Oh my!
Take
So you had to
tray on.
grab it, and
Yeah.
that's harder. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
That
little
tray,
fold out
yeah.
like this. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fucked
when
How
I
many
went,
times I've almost felt like lost the balance because I was taking a plate off and it was like fuck.
Actually, if there was a table next to it empty, I would put the tray there
Yeah.
and then just.
that's
Oh,
crazy
yeah, I
though.
would do that.
Like,
Just imagine you're eating.
what if like you got? I don't even know what the food is, but like, what if like you had like just 3 salads, and just one heavy ass soup, and then you take off the soup first, and everything else just flies, like because of the weight displacement. Like it's just because I'm giving him like flashbacks. Just thinking about it.
It was alright. I mean, actually, I never dropped a plate.
Yeah, it's
Talking
good.
about it, I never dropped a plate.
Damn.
I think I've dropped more nuggets
That's
than I've
one of the
dropped.
skills you have to learn is mastering the weight displacement of whatever the fuck is on your plate.
Yeah.
Because if you
That
don't,
makes sense.
if you fuck it up, then you're just gonna lose the balance.
Sure.
Alright,
I've
so-
dropped more shit at McDonald's
Even
than I've
as a
dropped.
busboy,
Like
because you're like using the trays
I-
to clean up the shit.
I worked one time at with my dad like one time because I
Haven?
forced him. No, when he used to work at the 340 Grill, Hoboken. One time, I couldn't hack it. Bro. I can't because he works at I think a more upscale restaurant.
Okay.
So his shit you gotta be like this. You
Yeah.
can't slow down, bro.
They
Over
can't.
there you can't slow. So yeah, I couldn't take it like that.
I mean, I worked at a burger chain, so it was like really, it wasn't much shit, but the like restaurants like that, they're on the game, like you said.
Yeah, and I can't hack that, to be honest. It's too much. Like, imagine having to worry about the plates, and I've seen them carry like 1,000 plates too. I'm like, yeah, not for me.
Bro, those places are fun. I worked at an office for a decent amount of time, and they took us to an Italian place. I don't know if it's on the way on Route 3, I think. It's called. I forgot what it's called. I think it's called
Olive
Bartelli's. But it's on the opposite side of Olive Garden. I think it's called Bartelli's.
I think I know what you're talking
And
about.
that's and we went there, and there was this fucking pork chop that was like the size of my face. And I was like, that's just like $38, and I was just like, I was trying to order the most expensive shit, like just because it was on them.
Yeah.
Yo, I wish, because I wasn't 21 yet, but they had ordered like 6 bottles, and I was like, fuck, like, and it was funny because then we all went back to the office.
How old were you when you were at Johnny Rockets? Do you remember?
16.
Okay,
17.
so you had started McDonald's for like a year, then left to Johnny Rockets. You were still 16.
Cause McDonald's hired me before 16, but you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, yeah, no.
They hired me at 15.
You were a manager at 15?
I was actually a manager at 16 going to 17.
I thought you couldn't be a manager at
There's a way,
below
there's a
18. There's a loophole.
And
Okay.
he found it.
I didn't find it. I
It
didn't
was
find
given
it.
to him.
Yeah, they found a way to make the loophole work.
They were like with the when you like train your pets, right? And they're like they brought the ring to him. They're like,
And would they have you
jump.
close it?
Yeah.
That's illegal.
I know.
There's no loophole for that. That's
When he was seeing that check, and he was like,
fuck it.
I wish it was that
No,
bad.
No,
Actually, I'll tell you
those
this.
checks were not fat at all. Even as a manager.
Back in those days, we're talking like almost 4 or 5 years ago. A manager that was making that's been working there for like 6-7 years was making $13. I was making 14.
What'd you do?
He closed.
No,
Bet you-
I mean
bet
no.
you-
I mean, like I said, when I first got hired, because I was like everybody was going 32nd Street,
Mm.
and I was like I want to be different. There was Hoboken. Actually, 32nd Street did not call me.
They didn't like you?
No, I mean no. I applied and no one called me back.
Mm.
So I was like, you know what? I wanted a job, so I was like, 54th Street. I was like, I walked by because I had braces back in the day, so I always walked to my place with my braces. It was on 6th Street,
Mm.
so from after high school I used to walk there and walk back.
Jeez.
And I was like, there's McDonald's here. I went home, got my laptop, I applied, and they called me that same day. And like, are you Jaquin? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, you want to come for the interview Saturday? I was like, all right. So I went there.
So you stayed there, okay. And then from there you became a manager.
At 81st Street, and then got transferred to Fairview, and then they sent me around once in a while to other stores to help out.
Okay.
Like, I was gonna be the manager at 32nd when you left back. Because Tunnelly closed because of the truck.
Yeah, I remember that.
Weren't you telling me to stay too? Like.
Yeah, I was telling you to stay in my store. Yeah, cause
fuck that though, bro.
You didn't go during that time?
No, because they gave me the option. Actually, Carlos had called and was like, hey, I want you to come at 32nd and work the night shift. And I was like, I'll do it, but one condition. You have too many managers at night, and you have a mess there. Because I used to pick up merchandise from your store. Yeah. And I was like, dude, it's a mess. Like, not as a mess, it's like that. It's like, you need to put people on their stations.
Bro, this is what it was.
There was no structure. People just went to wherever they wanted.
It's like, that's what I'm saying. When they hired me, Oscar, he taught me how to work. Yeah, like, actually, you could control the screens from the machines.
What screens?
The screens on the back. You could control all the screens, like the displays and the kitchen machines, pressing a button on the
register.
Yeah. It's like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I learned.
Okay.
That's dope.
Actually, you know that I totally beat 32nd Street
all the time
on the drive-through.
Yeah. I can imagine when you guys closed.
With only one window.
Yeah, when you closed.
Yeah. And y'all had less cars too. You guys had like 40 less cars.
No. We had cars too.
Yeah?
Yes.
Just not on the days I worked.
Yeah. But, I don't know if you remember, there was a time there was competitions.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then that's when I got transferred to Fairview. And then I actually did beat you guys in Fairview, having 2 windows and everything. And actually, Fairview gets a lot of people, just like 32nd. It's just that it's not.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you what the deal was. Okay, so.
Little people.
This is how it works.
No offense, guys.
I like no offense, anyway, except for Karina. Fuck that bitch. But anyway, this is how it worked out. So I was manager, and there was another kid that was there named Oscar, who's super cool. Me, him, and we had a good team. But also the problem was that when it got packed, let's say football games, let's say weekends, bro, we would have like 5 less people than what we need, maybe 6.
You know what it was? The labor.
Yeah.
I hated the labor.
I hated the labor too. But I told him, I was like, yo, I get that you need you need a high labor for the morning. I get that. I really do. Because you have inspections, you have this. But you have to look at the numbers that you're making in the afternoon. Because even with the high labor in the morning, if you gave us 3 extra people, maybe just 2, we'd be fine. And your labor would look nice.
But there's a reason why they do that. Because they go off their sales from past years.
Mm-hmm.
And so and I'm not kidding, so if in 2012 they sold 2 apple pies at 7 o'clock, they only want you to put 2 apple pies.
Yeah.
So that's how it actually is.
That's how it works, yeah.
And then, so you got it bad with the football kids. There used to be this charter bus that used to drop off kids, like from a basketball group or whatever. Remember, like 10-year-olds? I don't know if you were ever there when they came. Dude.
I don't know.
Remember that time there was a $1 menu?
Disgusting.
It's
so
like,
10-year-olds and their dollars, bro.
Yo, but that's how it was. 107 for a McChicken, bro. That went a long way.
I got a 5.
And then, it was a hassle.
It wasn't.
Buy your own McDonald's and take over.
My worst memory was the night that you were like, Xavier, stay. It'll only be 1 hour. And then it became like, well, you close at 12, right? Or no, you guys close at 11, right?
11.
I was there till 3 in the morning.
Dude, you were there.
Because we were fucking cleaning everything. And you know what Luis was doing the whole time? Fucking around on the computer. The whole fucking time, all 4 of us were cleaning. He was cleaning the front, and me and the 2 other people were doing all the fucking dishes for the whole store. And I was like, what the fuck?
I'm telling you, when it was closing kitchen, they only left me 1 person. And unfortunately,
bro, every time I went there was only 1 person in the kitchen. It was every time I went there, I was the cashier, and the fucking one person was in the kitchen, and there was only one person for drive-through. That was it.
That's why they called though, because you really needed somebody, right?
Because if not, that drive-through guy had to do front of house and the drive-through.
Yeah. It was actually my worst memory. It's not even that one. On Mother's Day,
I was only there twice.
on Mother's Day, they told me to. I didn't. I was scheduled to close, so I was like, "Hey, Luis, let me open, and I want to go spend time with my mom." Before actually, that was funny. Yeah, so seriously here. So I was like, "Okay, come and open," and they left me with two people in the kitchen. It was Mother's Day, mind you. I don't know why people take their mothers on
to McDonald's.
Don't do that.
It's special.
My mom really liked the apple pie.
Well, apple pie is different.
Put a little candle on it.
It got packed from the start.
That's
like,
fucking.
11 o'clock hit. This fucking guy orders 100 McChickens and 100 cheeseburgers.
With one
Mind
kitchen
you,
lady?
11 o'clock. Lunchtime just
started, yeah.
I was like, dude, you gotta give me time for that. People started coming in. No one showed up for
the mid-shift?
No one.
That's crazy.
No one.
And you got this triple-digit guy for burgers and McChicken.
And I'm like, so it was me and the lady in the kitchen hustling, and Luis came and I was like, that's it, I'm done.
How long does it take to make that many McChickens and chicken?
Well, the
time.
basket
Fryer,
only
bro.
holds six chicken.
each.
I was just about to say. I was about to say 8 too, so I was being generous.
But yo, tell me now, we would grab the big one and we just put a bunch of 2 bags of McChicken.
I would never do that.
We would do that.
I wouldn't.
And I'll tell you this, bro. There's a lot of shit that they do in 30 seconds.
I know what they do. I saw the cameras many
What do they
times.
do?
Bro, there's a lot of shit that they do.
Yo!
It's just like,
Oh my god, can we talk about that? Or do you have like an NDA about that? The cameras?
What about what?
About how they work.
it was just a passcode.
No, I don't have an NDA.
No one has an.
But, bro, like the way that it works, bro, I really feel like I'm in Rainbow Six Siege because you can literally just switch from 32nd Street to 81st Street to
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 Fairview.
New York and like what the fuck, like why?
There's a whole network.
Yeah, I'm like what the fuck.
They have a server. They
Yeah,
have a
before
server.
you actually started, both of you, the owner used to do parties. And
Which
massive
cameras, though?
parties. And,
All of them. Like it'd be one like
the street
he
cams?
got all the
store.
stores,
Uh-huh.
all his stores, and he used to do
Oh,
massive parties in
stores.
Connecticut, at a Hilton hotel, and he used
That
to,
was the old owner, right?
yes,
Right.
which is a great dude, but he all the buses used to come at 32nd Street. It was coach buses, and he used to drive you and your family, and go there for like hours, and then drive you back. But then they used to give like prizes and everything. It was like really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they fucking ruined it.
Yeah.
Bro, it just became a machine after that. They just wanted you to shit out everything. It was bad.
What if out of nowhere McDonald's and like Burger King and all these places
Well,
hiring mascots?
Actually, it's the corporate that runs it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Because the corporate that it's here in this area, it's not so good. Because when I look for jobs in New York as a manager, they were like, oh yeah, we know Michelle Enterprises because that's what it is here. And I was like, okay, we got to call Josie before we hire you. I was like, why do you have to call her? I was like, because there's certain restrictions that we can't hire managers. So a guy told me, the store manager from the 42nd Street in Times Square told me that.
In McDonald's?
Yeah, he was like,
But they don't own that one, do they?
they don't, but for some reason, when I went there, he was like, Josie and Michelle Enterprises, we need to give them a call before we hire you. And I was like, why? I up to this day I don't understand because when I went to other ones they didn't say that. They know Michelle Enterprises, and they had no problem hiring, but it wasn't much. It was at that time they were offering $18.
Oh, so
For
it was
managers,
just that
yeah.
one store that was just like, hey, get out of here.
I don't know if the guy maybe didn't like hiring guys from Michelle Enterprises, or maybe they just gave a bad rep, but I don't know what it was.
It's kind of whack.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I don't.
It's like internal McDonald's beef.
Is that what made you go to Johnny Rockets? Like not getting?
No, that was after this, right?
No, so first I started 54th Street, and then I was like, I'm done with this. So that goes to as a story like this. So I started, right? I was working there for months, and then I met the mother of my child there, and then when my dad found out that he did find out that she was, wait no.
The time.
Hold up.
I'm trying to get the time.
I'm trying to get the time correct. He didn't know.
So while you were working at McDonald's,
I was still in high school.
Okay, you were with the mother.
The mother of my child, yes. And then, my mom actually called my dad because I had to get I passed my the driver's ed thing in school, and I want to get my license. And my mom and me went to the DMV, and I invited her a breakfast sandwich, and she called my dad because I didn't want to eat the sandwich on the bus because she thought I was embarrassed of her because we were eating. It was something that she misunderstood, and we resolved it. But so my dad actually.
I feel mad confused. Like how did it?
So it was like this. So my mom, I was begging her. I was like, please go with me to the DMV. I just need you to sign the first paper, and after that, I do the rest myself.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing you really need your parents for. You just need their signature. They need to go with you the first time, and that's it. So we go, and then the one in Uptown, like North Bergen, the system had fallen, and I was like, I didn't go to school, you didn't go to work, so let's go to Jersey City. You know, we'd say I'll pay the bus. You know.
Yeah.
And I actually called out from work that day too, so like we could spend all day doing this because I want to get my license.
Yeah.
So we went to Quick Check, and I was like, hey, you want something? I'm gonna get a breakfast sandwich. You get one too. She was like, fine. And she was like, are you hungry? I'm like, no, I'll eat it when we get there. She was like, oh, eat it now on the bus. I was like, I don't want to eat it on the bus. Like I wasn't hungry at that time, so my mom actually thought I was embarrassed of her.
Why?
I don't know.
Like, where did you get that?
I don't know. Yeah. And she took it to the heart. So the next day when I go to McDonald's to work, my dad comes out of nowhere. He's like, you're quitting now. I'm like, what? Exactly. It went down like that. And Lewis was there because he was supervising the store because the store manager there had an emergency, or the manager. And Lewis there was that night. He was like, oh, who are you? I'm like, oh, I'm Lewis. I'm like the manager. I was like, oh, tell the store manager that he's not going to work here anymore. I'm like, why? So he pulled me out of the store, and then he choked me that night or whatever. That's something else.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a whole big issue.
So that's
okay. So I couldn't work there at McDonald's for like a whole month, and I was talking to the store manager for like a month. I was like, please.
It wasn't Lewis at the time.
No, it was it was someone else. This was way before. Yeah. So I was like, please hire me back, and then I did go back for like 2 months, and then I went to Johnny Rockets, and then no wait, I have my time. No. So I did go back, and when I went back, I was a crew trainer, and they were like, okay, you're gonna come back as a crew trainer. We want you to train people, and then they hired me for like 10 more cents. So it was like, if it was like $7.50, no, at that time it was like now $8.45, so it was like $8.60 now.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
I wanna
that's a big difference.
Add on to your story of 8 cents. Remember when they were like, hey guys, we're getting 15 cents more. and they got, like, everyone else had an attitude with us because we weren't the ones clapping. I'm like, yo, do you guys know what 15 cents is? Like, not showing appreciation doesn't mean you're unappreciative. Like,
it just means it's wrong.
I'm like, yo, 15 cents and these Domino pizza parties ain't adding up, alright?
Domino pizza parties that we had to fucking pay for too, bro. You know, it's like, they're like, oh, you want pizza? Give me 10.
And then the pizza,
bro,
the pizza would fucking get there, and then the lunch ladies, I'm getting too comfortable, but the kitchen staff would be like, espérate, and then you come with another thing to cut it even thinner. And I'm like, yo, are you fucking serious?
16 slices, bro? It's not kindergarten.
Worse than school pizza parties, bro. It's fucking, that shit used to hurt my
But were you comfortable? I think out of all this, like, were you comfortable there for that time that you were working there? Because I really wasn't. Like,
I'll tell you this.
I really wasn't.
The mother of my child, she used to say that I used to talk at night, saying, okay, where's the order for the 3 cheeseburgers and time? I swear to God. She recorded me one time, and I said that at night. It was like...
Los tres McChicken.
Yeah.
Los tres McChicken.
You slapped at the table.
Would you do that too? Yeah, I would not. I would go one like loudest, because Lewis showed me that shit. He used to go.
It was unnecessary.
Yeah. He used to go to the kitchen and go, brah, and the old lady would be like, aye, Right. And they almost knocked out from the fear. This is amazing.
He's got
Fucking
MC.
It was unnecessary, to be honest.
It was.
But I only did that once, I think, and I hurt my hand. I was like, damn.
You know that fucking thing where we put the sauces and all that?
Yeah.
You know how there's like a metal top on top of like
Did
it's
you-
all
did you drop
connected.
it down?
I dented it. I dented it from how many times I slapped that shit. Oh my goodness.
I wasn't comfortable.
I hate it.
Actually, fun fact: a lot of store managers die from strokes.
Yeah.
No
Oh
way.
my God.
Speaking of dying from
How's
strokes,
that fun?
there was
I'm saying it's like a curious fact.
there was a gentleman. I don't remember his name, but he was like a chubbier guy with
I know what you're
glasses,
talking
white guy.
about. Daniel.
Daniel,
Yes.
bro.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he passed away because of McDonald's.
Raphael, the store manager before 32nd Street,
Oh, I know. He hired me.
also started having problems.
You can never have a straight face.
I don't know what it was, but he was having problems too.
He was a cool guy too.
He was
I
cool
fucked with
to
him.
work with.
I fucked with him heavy. I loved him.
Asshole.
I fucked with him heavy.
Carlos also had a stroke, if I'm not mistaken.
At
Are
night.
you for real?
Yeah,
he did.
He did.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of it's the pressure.
And he was out here fucking. Oh, you can get $1,300 a week like me. Like fuck out of here, bro.
It was the pressure.
Not to
As a
die.
store manager, you have an incredible responsibility. I'm telling
Does he
you.
still work there? He told
Yes,
me
he
for
does.
a long time he wanted to leave.
No, I think he does. Someone told me he does.
Me and him, like at the end, had a lot of problems.
I still have people there. So.
Yeah, so do I. Like keeping tabs, but it's not like me and him used to have problems.
McDonald's
And it wasn't-
take over.
Like resentful or anything, you know. I
It's
think
just work
now
hours.
it's just work shit.
Yeah.
You know, and I always felt for him when it came to that because he did have a stroke, and
Yeah.
I remember he called me up. He was like, "Yo, like, I'm not coming in. I'm just letting you know I'm not coming in because of this and that." I'm like, bro, if you need something,
Yeah.
like on a human level, I think we all respected each other that way. It sucked. It sucked how many hours we had to work.
When Oscar left, because Oscar was Josie's right hand.
Guy.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever met him. He was a young.
Not
a young
Oscar?
guy. Actually,
No, not
he,
that-
He,
not
no,
that.
he went to our school.
He went to the high school
Yes,
while we were in school.
yes. He was actually not too old, not that old than us. He's like 20. He must be 28 now, I think.
We're not talking about Scarlett and his best friend, right?
No, not that.
Oh.
But
He's Salvadorian.
yeah. So.
So his sister, his younger sister, was working at 32nd Street when I was leaving.
Okay.
She became a manager as well. Yeah. He's the department head, right? He's the head
He's
of
like the house department inspector. For,
Yeah.
Like the whole Hudson County.
The McDonald's hierarchy.
Because actually, the only reason he was working is because McDonald was paying for his university.
Oh.
Oh, that's crazy.
And once he got the degree, he was like, "That's it, I'm out."
He was like,
Good.
I'm like schooling.
Like,
Good, bro.
yeah, it's like him and me were really close friends. Like I met him at 54th Street, because 54th Street was the first store remodeled, like officially out of the whole.
Which one? 54?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the first one, and then came 81st, then came 32nd. Yo, when 32nd Street came to 54th Street, it was a mess. I was in charge of like most of those kids there.
Yeah.
I was like, the store manager was like, "No, you're in charge." I'm like, "Yeah." We used to have like 6 kids standing in the kiosk because I couldn't send them home.
Man.
So I used to purposely send them there for them to go home.
Man.
That's the most I could do.
But the problem was at 32nd
What do you
Street.
mean? They left?
So no, it's like I can't tell you go home because you're not from my store, but I could give you a job that you wouldn't like that you go home.
Damn.
He's a hero.
Fuck. I would have just stood there.
Well,
Yeah,
they
that's
didn't like
pretty
my
odd.
attitude, and I didn't like theirs. And honestly, I had my attitude because they left me. I was responsible for the store.
Yeah.
At that time.
I feel that.
Yeah.
It's at 32nd Street there was there's this problem where the authority is like not kept. So once it falls from the top, after that it just trickles down, it just becomes worse.
No, the problem isn't that. I know what the problem is.
What's the problem?
I don't want to say it.
What's the
The
problem?
Off camera,
predatory-
I'll say it, but I won't say it on camera.
predatory
Oh,
man.
No,
we can cut it out. You can say it now.
Okay, I could? Okay.
You cut it out, right?
I guess.
Don't cut it off.
No,
I'll say it off camera.
All right, better.
I'll say it off camera because there's a lot of things that I don't want to say while the camera's
Oh,
there
okay.
because then
Incriminating.
they're not encrypted.
No,
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 I
just
don't
don't
think
wanna
so. Yeah, I just don't want to. That's why
Burn
I'm
any
not
bridges
saying
or anything.
names or
Yeah.
stuff
No,
like
yeah,
that.
I
because
feel that. I feel
it's
that.
better just to say it off camera.
Yeah. We'll talk shit about you offline.
It's just better for, in case of anything.
Yeah, you never know.
What's
Exactly.
gonna
I
happen?
don't know. No,
You don't-
nothing. But you don't want to burn any bridges. You don't want to. You don't want to.
I'll put it to you like this:
Next time
you
gets a
never
Big Mac,
know if if we might go back work, if we might go back to work there in the future. Because you never want to say, I'm never coming back, because you actually are going to go back. You just be like, that's it, I'm done for now, that's it. Because if I ever see them again, any of, like, you and me, or you, because you work there also, it's like, we said these things, or I brought out to the fact that this is what's actually going down, or I don't want that corporation following you, or accusing you for slandering. This is what I'm saying.
I understand that.
I didn't like Luis touching me during my show. So I'm gonna speak how
Actually,
I feel.
there's an interesting story. Not on Lewis, on someone that. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things I just want to say.
Bro, believe me, I understand what you're saying. But I don't talk. Whenever I talk about shit like about McDonald's that had happened, it's about shit that's real. So it's like it can't. Even if it's traced back
like,
to me,
not even
it happened.
Not even things that are suggestive.
I know, no, and the things I know, it's also real.
Yeah,
it's just that.
Like I'll say this.
It's too sensible for a lot of people to know about it, and it's
got clicks.
Yeah, no, not clicks. It's just like the people that know it know at least what's actually going on in there.
I'll say this. I'll say this. There was like a lot of. There was even this going on when I was there before I became a manager. Managers that were really old, hooking up with people that were really young.
Yeah,
and
that's something else.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's something else.
And it's like
allegedly.
That's just one of the things that I know it's really bad. You know.
But no, actually, I think at the time they showed you their 18 ID, the fake one.
No, bro, no.
But yeah,
it was.
No, I mean that happened in school too, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
But was that teacher?
Mr. Santini?
Oh. That was his name?
Weren't there also like full-blown adults picking up middle schoolers?
That is true.
Yeah. Actually,
that is true.
Talking about
Get in the car!
Did you go to Union Hill?
Yes.
Okay.
When they sent me to the annex, fun fact, I don't know if you remember that. I got sent to the annex.
Yeah.
My senior year. I got sent to the annex, and they accused me of saying that a teacher and a student were hooking up. On it.
They accused you of saying it?
Yes.
So saying it got you in trouble?
I don't think I'm getting in trouble for saying this.
No, I mean if it's true.
No, I mean no, it's not, it wasn't true. But I'm saying, so the woman in charge of the annex was the head director of like the board, like the highest you could get to.
Oh, the Board of Education.
Yes. So like I'm saying, this woman was.
She had the juice.
I don't know what it was, but
she had the sauce.
Miss Rizzler.
No, Miss. I forgot her name. It was a funny name. But like my senior year, we were like 30 seniors, I think, and we only ended up with like 10 or 9.
Damn, what the fuck?
I'm telling you that they sent Alvin to night school like weeks from graduation.
Why?
Because
Just
Miss Kaplan was her name, something like that. And because apparently she wanted to kick everybody out. She was on my ass to kick me out. Like,
there was a lot of people that were like Machado, bro. Like
Machado does not come near this woman. Like
I know, but
she's
like
scared of her.
But like when you get to I'm trying to bring up the one point in specific.
It would be
where
because
I think he brought up on the podcast the situation with the school and shit with Machado bringing him out into the office. But when
I saw that.
When he was suspected of that deed, she was basically like, "Oh, he's a threat. Get him out of here. He's a menace." And trying to go all J. Jonah Jameson on him.
He's got the hair too.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened with Machado in the podcast?
It was the Esvian thing where Esvian said the thing about the shooter.
But
I was in the class when that happened.
They had I'm not gonna say the names of individuals.
Yeah.
But they said that they were like, oh, Jaquin said this about this teacher hooking up with this student, and I wasn't there that day. I was absent. Cause I think one of my child had like appointments and I went with her, something like that. So it was that time, and I came back the next day and everybody's looking at me weird. And I think it was Jerry. Jerry was there with me too. Jerry graduated with me also.
Who's Jerry?
Jerry. Jerry.
Oh, the guy that dated Heidi.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
And what was I going with? Okay, so he was like, hey. Just FYI, they're saying this about you, like me, and quickly security comes for me. I was like, hey, they're looking for you. I'm like, damn. It was just like I'm telling you, the school's like this. This is the entrance?
It's just a hallway, bro.
It's
That's just an L hallway, bro.
It is. And they were like, okay, come with me. Get your book bag and stuff like that. The guy picks me up. I'm like, dude, I'm not a criminal. Like,
And you're a minor still, right?
I'm a minor. I'm like, dude, it's like, what the hell? Go with me to the office now. Miss Kaplan's waiting for you. I'm like, Miss Kaplan, what the hell have I done? Mind you, her office is in the second floor because this is the second floor to this thing. And her to get to her office is lock the doors and everything. Security says, that's like if she's the
The
president.
security gates
You
open.
go through like a fucking airlock, like the doors.
A decompressor.
It's like from a door you didn't know existed.
They had you go through that. They had you go through that fucking hallway in Arkham Asylum. They're transferring the fucking
They
president.
had her in the thing just like chained up.
So we get there and they're like, oh,
You're in trouble for words.
we know what you said. And I'm like, what did
Would
I
you like
say?
to clue me in?
No, I heard you. Oh, you were there. So it quickly when she said that, it's like, oh, so you were there? Because Jerry had informed me already, so I knew what was going on. And then he was like, oh, you were there? Like, yeah, I heard you. Okay. So you're accusing me. All right, that's fine. You guys, that's slandering. So I'm going to sue the Board of Education. When I said that, it went off. I was like, you sue us, we'll sue you. We could bring this, and this is legal action, and we're going to bring the police in. I was like, all right, that's fine. So I'm going to contact my lawyer, and we're going to make this thing happen. Because I have witnesses that I didn't say anything. I wasn't even in school that day, right?
That's the best.
And then I
That
was
must
like,
have been awesome, man.
dude, it was a fight that I was ready for, like, lawyers and stuff like this, because that's slandering, and I have evidence. The teacher even took it against me, too. I was like,
Bro, I wasn't here, bro.
Do you not remember taking roll call?
We're like 2 attendants.
when did I say this? I'm like, mind you, there's only like 7 teachers there. I'm like, so what class did I say this apparently, and this isn't that. So whatever, the fumes went down. I don't know how the hell that went down. One day I came in, they kicked me out of that class too. Dude, there's only like
You don't have that many to go.
Yeah, you don't have
There's
that many
classes in there.
they
What did they
took
claim you said?
that
But,
a teacher and a student were hooking up.
What the fuck?
And because I think in the annex the year before that, a lunch lady had hooked up with a student.
Oh.
There was already an incident.
So they basically accused you of starting a room.
Yeah, and then
you better give me another chicken patties.
the lunch in the annex was ass, like bad. But
I need another juice.
But yeah, it went down that I was like, okay, so I'm gonna bring my lawyers then, and I'm not gonna say no more. It's like, yo, you have to speak to me now and this and like that. I was like, dude, it's like that's it, it's done. So they kept me like in, I think what was it, in math class for like 4 periods, because that's the only teacher, Miss, I forgot her name, but her sister, I mean, her daughter's at the high school, teaching, but the math teacher was incredible. She helped me out so much. She was like, hey, just do this and that. This principal was on my, not the principal, her name, I forgot what it was. Miss Kaplan, there you go. She was on my ass so much that she was like, she had told teachers, like, he's not graduating. It was that bad, so the math teacher was like, hey, there's one way for you to graduate, and it's going into high school and taking the ASVAB test. Because that's the last requirement that you need. You could pass taking the ASVAB test.
Was that the military one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, damn. And I was like, I already had taken off because the mother of my child had given birth, and they didn't want to give me like excuse days or anything like that. Like I was like, hey, I'm about to be a dad, and I went there. Like I went to her. I was like, dude, I need, like maternity leave or something like that. There must be something that I could, check for.
On paper, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll go to the doctor something. I'm not gonna be here. And she was like, oh, there's nothing I can do, so they'll just be counted as absence.
Jesus.
So I think I only had 1 day left of absence, like 17 days, like on the dot. Like, I didn't want to risk anything.
That's wild, considering they have a fucking daycare there.
Yeah.
Well, he was not
At
a
my
boy.
annex.
Oh, but I mean
It was a
still, it's
newborn.
like-
And so they're like, just go to the high school. So I sneaked into the high school because she was like, she had called security from the high school. It's like, hey, this student is gonna show up and try to take the ASVAB test.
It was that serious?
Yeah, it was something like
That
that.
fucking episode of Prison Break.
Yeah.
So I had 2 IDs. I still had my AEA ID and my ADA now one. So I used my AEA and it worked. And it worked. And I quickly went to the auditorium and I took my ASVAB and I passed. But they still let me graduate. I don't know what it was that I ended up calling someone, and someone helped me out.
Jeez. And all this, and you were still having a baby.
For
That's
something he
crazy.
didn't say.
Yeah, but how many rulers did Miss Kaplan have up her ass?
Like,
Just capping.
I don't know what it was. So, I got sent there because of I cut class a lot, and the only class I actually cut was gym. Apparently, English class definitely. 'Cause I hate
You know what
it.
I remember, bro?
Gym? I would.
You had geometry with us. You remember, bro? With
Mr. Jimenez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, true.
How fun was that shit, bro?
But
You remember the bullshit?
what's it?
Wait, what?
He caught him doing that shit one time, and he was just like really fucking. That's what he pulled up. Homework? Well, homework?
That's true. That's true.
So one time he passed him, and then he did it. And then he just.
Oh, fuck. That was
It's
great.
fun. But yeah, I got sent to the. That's why I got sent to the
Yeah,
annex.
after that.
But it
Damn.
was just.
Mr. Jimenez was a great fucking class, bro.
It was fun.
That was funny.
You remember when he had that active shooter in the Jose Martin? We were locked in Mr. Jimenez class for like a long time.
Yeah.
It was
What
just-
you guys do?
Laughed. Like, there was nothing we could do, bro.
Bro,
It
but
was
now
hilarious.
you're like the silhouette coming in like that, or like you're revealing yourself, like, because there's always been that silhouette of like who else was there, because then it was me, him, and Jordis, and I'm like, who's the fourth character?
Was it Alvin there?
No, it was
No, he
Jimmy.
Jimmy was there.
Jimmy? Oh yeah.
I only remember the memorable face. So it was Jimmy,
I just we
Sam
were all in, like,
Sam.
we were all in like the back rows, so it was just all one of us could just.
Yeah, it was always that type. And this guy, the Mexican kid, bro, what was his name? That's tall, skinny Mexican kid. He was fucking hilarious with glasses. I can't remember his. He used to sit in front of Jimmy all the time.
There's another silhouette.
Yeah, we'll find him. We'll find him one day, bro. But I promise, this shit, he was hilarious.
I know.
I don't know.
That's crazy that you were going through all this while also having a baby at the same time. So by the time you graduated, was she born already?
Yeah, she was born already. She was born in December. We
Hmm.
graduated on June. Yeah, June. Yeah.
You were how old?
At that time, 18. Yeah. And
That's
then,
crazy.
so yeah, so in that time, it was. I feel like I'm talking too much about this.
No, you're good. You're good. Whatever you want to talk about, bro, you good.
I mean, no, it's your. I mean, yeah.
No,
Well,
stop
you're-
talking.
You're the guest, bro.
So that happened. I don't know. I forgot what I was talking about.
What we're talking
Cut
about?
off.
About you graduating
Okay.
and Miss Kaplan.
Yeah, okay, so I went actually to the Board of Education asking for my transfer to the high school because you could do that.
Mm.
Then I was like, hey, like I said, I graduated with 3.48 GPA or something like that. I was like, I'm a good student. The teacher was like, what are you doing here? 'Cause everybody else in the annex belongs there.
Yeah.
Well, not belongs there, but it's like
Human garbage.
Don't sugarcoat
They
it.
belong there.
You don't have
you
to
wouldn't imagine that I
apologize.
went to the annex.
No one did.
You wouldn't imagine, really, like,
I remember it was rumors
I
that you were in the
you
end.
for that ASVAB test, like somewhere outside of the thing, and I'd just be like, yo, where you been?
actually,
It
yeah.
used to be like that, yeah.
He'd just be like, been in the ADA. Like, just, for what?
And that's how it actually was. Graduation day, Esvian sees me, and he's like, bro,
Where have you been?
what are you doing here? I was like, well, I just parked my car, and I was like, I'm here for the graduation. He's like, where you been? I was like, 88. He was like, you? I was like, what the hell did you do? And when I tell people, it's just because I cut 2 classes, they don't believe me. And it, like,
That could have been me, bro. I was fucking skipping gym first period, Miss Ferrante second. I did not give a fuck.
Miss Ferrante was the English teacher?
Yeah.
You didn't like Miss
That's her,
Fonte?
that's her then.
That's
What?
her one.
That's the English teacher that sent me to,
To the 88?
yeah.
No way.
Damn, she sent me to summer school. So
She sent me to summer school, but I passed still.
Oh,
Okay. And you still got sent to the 88?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And she got pregnant. It took off like 3 months. Like,
Oh, really?
Wasn't she the teacher like taught like the if it was honors but we're not honors something like that? That's her class.
think
Was,
so,
her
yeah.
class was really
I had her too.
but that's
I
my
like her,
shit
I don't
too. It's like because my shit was such at a high level, you put me at like a thing right beforehand and expected me and had these expectations.
I don't think it was. It was just the fact that we just got her out of luck because they don't rank you like. If they did, bro,
They should.
the classes they should though. Where it's
They
like
should.
all right, he's not that smart, but let's put him here. You know what I'm saying? But they should do that.
If I had gotten fucking Mr. Rojas for English and I was talking for a whole period, different fucking story. But Miss Ferrante, you come into her class, read book, go read more at home, test.
Yeah, that's how it was.
That's the thing. I didn't find any interest in the lady suiciding herself on the lake because she found out.
What was that? It was a short story.
I hated
like,
so many of the
I
books.
did not like the stories. It was like
boring.
Wait.
I didn't find any.
A Streetcar Named Desire, bro, was a good book. I don't know about you.
You
never read that one?
Oh, is that
The play-based one where it was
that was a good.
I like that. That's the only one I like though.
But that's the thing. Is like I feel like we need to.
You have it?
No way.
Oh, Kyron.
Oh, that's
something
ninth.
else.
That's ninth grade. Though.
That is something else.
That's something else.
This is
It's
Hassan and.
Asaf.
Every time I bring that book out, those are the names that immediately get said.
That's a different book, but yeah, but she would. It was like
Yo, but I had like 40 fucking
the
absences in my English.
the way that they do the curriculum is like they need to update it because other schools are reading other books that at least interest you or you catches your. I think schools doing Harry Potter. I forgot what school.
Not ours.
I think if you like gave them not the choice to do something on your own, because most of the time you're given the choice, you don't do anything on your own, but at least the option to be like, instead of reading this book that everyone's reading, you can select a choice to do your own book or something and do like a book report maybe every time that there's a.
Bravo Waters, they used to
I
do
don't
that.
But that I know that there's definitely the teachers that would like be amicable toward you and be like, hell yeah, we'll do
I
this
mean,
instead,
actually,
or
the
whatever.
teacher from the '88 should be in the high school
Or give
because
them information.
they come to you and they tell you, "What do you want to do?" Though, like they actually do say that when you they actually tell you to.
Graduate.
No, there's not that.
No.
It was Mr. I forgot his name. It was a good math teacher. Like he didn't teach you the book way. He taught you
Like the way that
the
makes sense.
short.
Well, like they taught in a way that you felt
it's like
you wanted. They wanted you to be better.
like for instance, for everything they wanted to work right. Most people are capable of doing quick math problems in their head, right? And then you just know the answer right away, but you still need to work apparently. And I get why you need to work, but you're just frustrating. It's unnecessary stuff that you need at that point, in my opinion, right? So then you got other teachers like, you need this, and that too. Like, it's the way that they want it is too complicated, and a lot of people would be better off if you let them do their own way. I think
so.
It goes back to how you started in the beginning, how you're taught all these steps,
Yeah.
and then in the real world, you're taught to skip all those steps. Because it's like you have to show your work, but
It's
when
not
you do that
practical,
institutionalized test, they're not giving you back that test, and they're like, hey, I don't see your work on here. They're taking it as is, and they're gonna grade your shit. So it's like.
So you save yourself time by not showing all that work
Yeah.
and doing it mentally.
I met a college professor that told me, everything you learn in high school, forget about it
Good about you.
because it's all garbage. Now you're gonna learn actually what they're supposed to teach you. They're not teaching you, and I feel like the number one thing they're supposed to teach you is communication, how to talk to people.
Yeah. I think you learn that more obviously with your friends and all that, like the social.
But you don't learn
aspect,
it the proper.
The proper way, yeah.
It's like there's two ways you should speak, I guess, with your friends and the professional one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna talk the way I talk outside with the people that I talk to because it's not acceptable.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like what I'm trying to say is this: like here, we could curse around or whatever.
Yeah, man.
In the real and like not in the real world, but in business, you can't really.
It's not professional.
It's
at the end of the day. It's not cordial. It's not a good thing to do.
It's like I feel like that's what I struggled once I got to the job where I am now. It's communication, how to talk properly, how to send emails properly, instead of trying to find out if the S needs to be MLA or MSA.
I don't remember. Yeah,
that's what
MLA. I don't remember
I just know
MLA
MLA.
format.
My problem has always been like the delegation part of it, because I know I have to tell so and so that they gotta do this. My problem is what's gonna happen when so and so says, "Oh, but I want to do this," or "Oh, but so and so told me that I could do this," and then now you gotta go and combat what the other person said, or you gotta go and be like, "Yeah, well, I need you to do this," and then you become abrasive, and then now you gotta worry about this person's feelings being fucking thing, and then they're gonna go talk to whoever,
Well,
and
for
then
me,
that person's gonna
I
trickle
think
down.
what people don't know how to like communicate well is their tone of voice. or how they communicate to you. Because a lot of times, let's say he says it one way and you say it another, right? I say, oh, well, I think a professional way would be like, unfortunately, this is the way we were taught, this is the right way to do it, and you're going to have to do it this way. I'm sorry. You know? But some people would just be like, oh, you have to do it this way. That's it. That's, there's two different sides to that, and that's why people can be like, okay, that sounds abrasive. And people don't consider their tone a lot. People just think that tone is like, whatever. I can speak up here, and that's my normal speaking voice. That's not how it works.
I think
That's
it's because people like have a problem with speaking impulsively. Like it's hard to like. I have a problem with that myself. Whereas your thoughts are kind of faster than your words when you get them out.
That's a problem.
So
that's definitely a problem. Like in the real
you
world,
say your shit too quick.
I get that. I understand why people are like that. They think emotionally a lot of times, but and you're not. It's not that you're not supposed to react on emotions. That's how you react, but you have to learn how to separate it and be like, okay, this is not a personal thing. It's not on a one-to-one level. Let's just see what the real mission is here. What are we trying to get at? And people don't know how to separate their emotions from that.
That's true.
I think that's a lot of the shit that we weren't taught around here.
Yeah, but it also goes back to, like I said before, ethics and morals and what you see. Because not all of us are fortunate to be in a household where you have two parents, or you have food every day on the table, or you're not struggling financially, or.
What are you looking at?
I don't know where to look at. I told you. I don't know what to look at the camera either all the time.
No, yeah, for sure. I don't like that argument sometimes because it's like, we come from like a pretty fucked up home.
Everything you said was true.
Like yeah, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. It was tough, but even so, I still found my communication skills, and I think it just takes your own work.
The more you progress in life and get more, challenging jobs, is the way you develop your skills.
Yeah.
Someone told me once that if you're ever in a job where you're comfortable, you're in the wrong job, and you need to leave it and pursue something else.
I like the pressure. Like
yes, you need.
I like being challenged and always having to be like I'm not saying that I like being stressed. But I like having to be in a fast-paced environment where I'm always having to constantly move and I have to do 2 or 3 things. Yeah, I don't like having to do one thing, because then when I do one thing, I start to learn all these routines to make it less, and then I get to the system to where it's basically self-efficient, and I'm just leaning the fuck back and doing nothing, and I'm getting mad that I don't do anything.
That's one thing I did like about McDonald's, where it was like that. And you had to be like all over the place.
McDonald's prepared me to where I am now. So for instance, when COVID hit, I got hired in February 19, 2020, before COVID, at the company I am now. And I actually got hired as a shop helper. So I was going to give out tools and whatever they needed. That was my role at that time. COVID passed. COVID came and everything. People started leaving jobs. A lot of people got sick, like I said. The job I am now, we build parking structures in New York and actually all over the world. So we're constantly on the road, building and the structures. So basically, where I work is this. This is a car, right? Have you ever gone to New York and you see a car on the bottom and a car on top?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you build that structure?
We do those. We do the triples.
The icon parking ones and all that stuff? Yeah.
And then we have a robot that it's made we make it there in Fairview, that your car goes on top of the tray, and then the robot will pick it up and bring it to the elevator.
You make those?
Yes.
You make those? Those are dope. So I used to work in a company called NRIA, and they do a bunch of buildings and shit. And they were building these hotels, basically, in apartment buildings that basically gonna have garages like that.
Yeah, we do that too.
Where they're for like the elite, like penthouses shits, and they can hold like 25 to 40 cars, and you literally just park in, and then it's just like how your wardrobe is for like fucking sweaters and jackets, and it just slides them all, and then you go to that terminal and just be like, buy a car, and then it comes out.
That's crazy that we haven't had that a long time ago, because in Japan they've always had that. They have those circular
yes,
garages.
that's an interesting system, because we study that also. We see it. but they're running on like old format and they don't change it. So I'm not an engineer. I work with many engineers and they tell me the same thing. It's like once you make something work, you don't want to change it. You usually make modifications for it to run faster. And the company I work in, we want to change it purposely because we're looking for the next big thing.
We're trying to revolutionize the process.
So, like I said, the robot comes on the bottom, picks it up, takes it to the elevator itself. It's all autonomous, 100%.
Have you tried learning how to miniaturize the cars?
We do that for Starbucks already.
Miniaturizing?
We move the pallets. Oh no.
Oh yeah. No,
I mean, we've made our machine smaller, but.
No, that's cool. That's dope.
So, like I said, I started as a shop boy, like giving out stuff. Later on, got promoted as a worker in this field, like putting the machines up, learning everything. What else? The manager, like a foreman, and then in charge of the whole warehouse. Warehouse manager. And then where I am now is a production manager.
At the same place?
Yeah.
In Fairview?
In Fairview. A production manager / manufacturing assistant supervisor.
How do you find yourself, like, balancing that and, like, you know, the child and maybe your mother, like, the family stuff? How do you...
So the good thing is, like, my family's in here in the country, so I don't have to worry about that.
Is that one problem down?
One problem down. One phone call, 15 minutes. Set. That's it. I do talk to them.
I don't have the minutes.
So,
you still buy the boss cards? No? You just do WhatsApp, yeah, WhatsApp. People who buy those cards are stupid, bro.
I mean,
he doesn't buy them no more.
That's because some people just do what they know, bro.
I mean, if it works out for them, it works out.
Yeah.
They're 80, leave them alone, bro.
But, like I said, so I mean, I go to work, all right, from 6 in the morning till like 5 afternoon or 6 afternoon, depending what it is. After that, I just go spend time with my daughter, go home, eat, repeat. That's it. That's really much it.
You get weekends off?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Always.
That's what you're going
Always.
for. That's become my rule recently. It started at this. I used to work at a startup across the street. They gave me weekends off, and then at Target, they were trying to make me work weekends at first. And I was like, "Yo, what does my availability say?" So then when I worked at this office, I was like, I'm not coming in on Saturdays, and just because my mom was HR, I was going her hours, so it was perfect. But having a good weekend off, and that's also a good shift too. Working in the morning so you can get out midday.
Yeah.
It's just good.
Like, the thing is, I've been fortunate enough to travel to Florida, Boston. Where else have I gone? I forgot. New York a lot. You actually see beautiful buildings, and you get mesmerized by all the things.
So you like saving up money? You like?
I mean, yeah.
To do your whatever it is that activity, that big activity.
Yeah.
I went to Hawaii.
You did?
Yeah.
Nice.
We should all go.
I've never gone there. It's on my list.
I wanna go with more people, because not that I didn't enjoy it with my mom, but when you go with family,
There's certain things you can't do.
Yeah.
Can't get lit.
I mean, the only thing I did during last year I went to Vegas.
Yeah, but
How was that?
you and Louis drive. I just want to make sure that if I go on a trip somewhere, I want to have 2 people that are obviously not me that can drive. Because then all you gotta do is rent a car, and then we can do whatever we want. Just be like, yo. But in Hawaii, there's apparently like 4 beaches that have all different like color sands, and I really want to go. And
that's interesting.
My original reason was like, yo, I want to get some sand from everywhere. My mom had to kill my shit with that's illegal.
You can't bring it back into the country.
Yeah.
I mean, into the states.
What?
It's a state, but you can't.
I don't like the way the agriculture laws work. Like, you're not supposed to take shit out of its own environment to bring it up somewhere.
Can't take on small
and
rocks.
and apparently that's a petty reason to like put it in a vial and thing. But there's people who get away with it.
Yeah, people do probably.
Just like, we'll fucking just.
I'm guessing too.
I'll just take the fishnets and the trousers and just shake it up.
Put it in one of those.
You pretend you're like sitting in the banks and
what are your plans next now that you're like comfortable in a comfortable spot? You know, What are the bigger plans? Because I know you said earlier that you were planning anything. If you don't want to talk about it, that's all on you.
No, I
You're
do.
trying to find something new and interesting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe podcasting or streaming. What's up? Let me know.
I've seen it. I've been looking for some stuff, but I don't want to say. I mean, actually, Sebas and me, we started like a TikTok account,
Okay.
and it's like our idea is it's more his idea. I'm helping him out.
Who?
Sebastian.
Oh, I don't know which one.
It's one of the kids that we go to high school with.
Did he get the bad nickname? Was it the bad nickname,
No.
Sebastian?
That was the bad.
No.
I mean, I don't know who you're talking about.
They
now,
call
right?
they call him Savoy.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There was this, I don't know why that's fucked up.
Probably
It's just kids being kids.
Yeah, I guess.
No, but I was trying to be respectful. That's why I didn't want to just in case.
But so it's like we go to you and we ask you a question. What are you wearing? Stuff like that, which is something broad and everybody's doing now. You see this all.
Oh, that guy who was like, how much?
Yeah.
How much you fake? How much you fake?
Yeah,
Tell me
so-
how much the jacket. Tell me how much the jacket.
So it's like everybody's doing the same thing, and now it's the part is what's the next thing that's gonna be out there?
What's that next?
Because people that made it during COVID and they're famous because of the COVID period, but now instead of people are still thinking, oh, can I still be famous because COVID? No, COVID's gone.
Yeah.
You need to think about that. Now, what's after COVID? What's the next big thing after COVID?
Yeah.
That's the thing you should be looking for. And then understanding the algorithm and understanding if I do this video, what type of video people want. Just, if you do your research, it opens doors.
It does.
Well, that's why so many people were able to monopolize off COVID because they were prepped from after like the swine flu and all this other shit. Like they had mask problems in what flu was it? That was like in the 2013 or
The
whatever.
influenza.
Yeah, and they're wearing enough masks. So
The
I bet you a
influencer
bunch
flu.
of people were like, next time there's a big ass fucking flu season thing going on, we're gonna be super stocked up on that shit. And then what happened with COVID?
People just made money off of masks.
You know,
That is
many
true.
people made money
No,
off
there
masks
was
off
there was a
COVID,
lady
bro.
that I knew. This girl that I dated during COVID,
Hospitals
her mom
didn't
was
have
selling
enough.
masks to hospitals. She was making bang.
Yeah, there was a lot of people.
There was a lot of people that they made money off of crazy shit. But you're right. You always gotta be looking out for that next thing. What is gonna be making you money tomorrow?
Did you have any problems when there was a baby formula shortage?
No, because my daughter was already.
Yeah, I figured. But yeah, there
But
was,
there, I know,
there was
but
that too.
yeah, there was a lot of
There
people.
was
struggling
when I
before.
worked at Target, there was people coming in grabbing the 40-liter containers, pretending to buy just containers, and they were loading those shits with just a shit ton of formula. And there was one time where I was with the AP guy, it's the asset protection, and we had noticed this one guy, and as soon as I said, "Excuse me, sir," he had let go of the cart and started running. And then the asset protection guy, he came sprinting to the cart and opened it up. And it was just like fucking 20, 30 bottles of just baby formula. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
John, what are we doing?
What do you mean?
Time, my phone.
Oh, we're at an hour and 7.
Hour 7.
We'll do another 15 minutes.
I was like confused. What are we doing?
My fault. Because that's how I ask Xavier. He usually knows.
Yeah, but, what's after? I guess I want to get my house before I'm 27. That's a goal.
That's good. That's nice.
And not here. I want to
fuck
Virginia.
you.
I don't want to live here.
Why Virginia?
Western roads.
No, I've been to Virginia sometimes. There's this place called Newport News in Richmond. It's really nice. It's a nice community. I've done the research already. You could get like 2,000, let's say 350 square feet for like 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, with a garage and everything, for like that price. It's a beautiful home.
How much did you
Like-
say?
I mean, didn't say the price.
Yeah.
It ranges from 235,000 to like 450,000.
That's not bad.
That,
Would you get approved for an FHA loan and all that stuff?
I haven't done my research yet.
Okay.
It's just I'm looking.
You're just looking up.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all. That's like the average price for a home in all 50 states aside from California.
Yeah, I mean, well, not New York and shit. Even in New Jersey, it's
The
getting
thing is,
expensive.
everybody's
too.
coming here.
That is. this is gonna become suburban eventually, like super suburban.
Suburban dudes.
It's gonna be bad.
Like where I am living now, it's
You
I
think
know the
it's
rent's
gonna
gonna
become
go up.
suburban or hella condos? That's what I'm
That
saying.
too,
It's,
yeah.
yeah.
We are the
I feel
suburbs
like
to
they're
what
gonna try
Manhattan
and be
is.
a mini New York.
If okay,
Mm,
if you ever go
probably,
down
yeah.
the ramp of Hoboken, you see all
Which
New York.
ramp?
The main one, I guess.
The one to go to 15, the one on 15th Street.
Yeah, I guess that's
Okay,
the
yeah,
one.
yeah.
You see, that's New York, right?
Mhm.
If when you go down, but if you ever look straight, that's Jersey City.
Yeah,
That's not New York.
that's not New York. Yeah.
That's our new reality. New York is coming to us.
Mm.
This is spreading like a disease.
So
No.
you know they're slowly kicking. I don't know if you ever go to Zillow, and you look for homes and stuff like that. Patterson is also a new place that they're starting to kick out people.
Well, yeah, but
Patterson is
but
a
it's
lot.
still very dangerous in Patterson.
It is. But
It's gonna
the
take.
way-
yeah,
I think it's gonna take.
It's like,
maybe 2 years.
Newark was the place back then, the
Yeah.
North Ironbound district, and it's changed. So Patterson is. the
Well,
next-
East Newark is like where the bridge used to be. It's really nice.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like
it's
I
really
said,
nice.
they're changing everything completely. So. you know what?
Gentrification.
So yeah, I might as well move south.
I was thinking, this is my plan for like the next. I want to save up money. I'm trying to move everyone out. So like
Yeah, like you mentioned
my,
before.
my mother and my sister and this guy. And I want to move to Texas.
Wait, he's your brother?
He's my brother. Yeah.
I was about to ask you. I was like, what's your little brother?
That's my brother. Yeah.
He's not.
No, he's big, bro. Unfortunately.
I was thinking of going to North Carolina with my other
I think, but you see how the South is like.
One Texas.
For me, Texas, because there's a lot of Mexican people over there. I think it'd be easy to assimilate.
Tex-Mex?
Yeah. It'd be easy to assimilate, I think, for me. And there's a lot of freedoms over there that we just don't have over here. It's just like, I've been watching a lot of podcasts and people that live over there. It just seems like a more open space.
It
like,
is.
It's also like OnlyFans state.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was California.
Nah, they all come from
That's
Texas.
homeless.
Actually, I'll put it to you like this. It's not how people paint the world that it is in the South. It's, you hear a lot of people like, oh, there's racism and stuff like that. It's really not too much. I don't want to say
There is not
There's
completely.
not. Because I don't live there.
It's just
But-
as much as there is up here. It's just
Probably,
it's just
yeah.
the way that it's advertised.
The Hispanic community, our enemy is the Hispanics themselves.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's what I've been telling you.
Like,
They are.
The
That's
enemy
what
of-
I've been telling
The
you.
enemy of the Hispanics are the Hispanics
Hispanics.
itself.
We hold each other back. For sure.
They
Yes.
hate on each other.
Because you ever hear, oh, he's doing good. Oh, I despise him and stuff like that. Why do you?
It's jealousy.
Like, yeah, it's a lot of jealousy here. Or you at work, a lot of people like they make that person get fired.
We hate on each
Or-
other and we work for the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you all
Ourself.
hear someone that's getting a promotion, everybody teams up like, oh, we have to take him down.
That's
Like
bullshit.
that's how actually
That's McDonald's, bro.
that's McDonald's.
That's McDonald's in a
and-
nutshell.
And I don't know why it
We
is
bring
like that. when we
politics to everything.
Mhm. Well, it's just Hispanics grew up with that culture. Like we were saying before, we can't, we don't excuse it, but we can't change them. That's just how they grew up. You know what I'm saying? And when you bring that over here, it's hard to get rid of it. It's hard to change it.
I see it at Mexico. It's like,
When
the
I-
Mexican one.
I've never been to Mexico before, but I have been to Ecuador for a whole month.
Are you Ecuadorian too?
No.
Oh,
My mom is from Mexico. And my dad's side, we have some family from Spain.
okay.
But I've been to Ecuador, and I can imagine that's worse than Mexico.
Bro,
And I say it not that it's worse like that. It's just Mexico itself is I think a little more advanced than Ecuador. But the reason why Mexico doesn't advance is because of its own people.
yeah.
And when I went to Ecuador, I realized that living here, I thought I had problems, and over there, it's something else. It's,
Yeah.
Like I imagine if I go to Mexico, I'll have the same reaction. But I feel fortunate of growing up here, and whatever I went through, I was like, damn, it's nothing what they go through. It's like
That perspective, it's eye opening.
POV.
it is. It's over there. It's like, and I started seeing it here a little bit too. But you have Venezuelans over there begging for food and
Yeah.
with their newborn kids and like their whole families.
Oh,
Like,
they're immigrating into a bunch of countries actually.
Yeah,
So Peru, Ecuador. They're going into Argentina, and that's apparently a huge problem because now they're forming like gangs in these countries and they're stealing from.
That's what I've heard,
businesses
but
and
it's also what it is inside the country. So like in Ecuador, there's also like I think corruption.
There
I mean,
is definitely corruption.
like, you know, there is always going to be corruption down in the South, I'm guessing. Like in Central America,
Yeah.
Mexico.
But we say that like America's not corrupt.
Yeah,
No,
we are
it is,
corrupted within.
but I think it's we're way better off
It's
than
just
what these countries are.
perspective. It's perspective wise with like the population. Like a small country being corrupt, I feel like it's way more detrimental to
Like, I feel
us.
like this. I came out in the news, I'm not in the news, a radio station, 96.3. Or no, 97.9.
97.
Yeah, no, La Mega.
La
They came
Mega.
out. One time they were talking about people, when people were going to the border, when Biden first started, it's like, oh, we should help them out. You know, like, call the number if you think, you know, you have an opinion. And they answered the phone. And I was like, oh, shit. And they were like, oh, what do you think about this? I'm like, nah, I disagree with this. And I was like, wait a minute before you start tagging, like, you know, because I was like, what do you mean?
I'm with you,
And
yeah.
I'm like, wait, so your idea is our tax money to help them now when there's people of millions of immigrants that have been working here, have businesses, have homes, families, and you don't want to help them here? First?
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you help in first without, you know, why do you help the people first in the country before going outside and helping them out? One, you don't know who the hell they are. At least people here, we know who they are. It could be a neighbor down the street that has 2 houses, has an LLC, has a business and everything. Yeah. It's like,
but not even in his name because he's an immigrant or he's undocumented. And
well,
stuff.
actually, nowadays, I think you could start open businesses. And
You could.
And, you know, we have taxpayers that are immigrants, you know, but you don't want to help them out.
Yeah, sure.
You know, you don't see them, and especially in COVID, and if you take out the Latin, the Hispanic community and disappear them, the all immigrants and everything, the economy collapses.
Yeah.
It does.
For sure.
But also, it's not the fact
this
that
country is built off immigrants.
we're all immigrants.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and I feel like in today's world, the actual the politicians and everything, instead of uniting us, they're separating us.
Yeah. It's
You know?
it's like the divide and conquer thing. They want to stay at the top, right?
You know, you have liberals, you have conservatives, you have Republicans, Democrats, whatever. But you know, it takes a person to unite them all and be like, hey, one day the Democrats will win, and the next day the Republicans will win, and we just need to learn how to live like that. We can't get everything that we want. But you know,
What did Alex Sensation say after you said that?
Oh, there was actually out of everybody, there was only one guy saying that I was right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One of the guys in the radio?
Yeah, and because of that, they gave me like a free ticket to some.
No way.
Like a concert.
To go
Something
see
like that.
Alex Sensation live?
But I never went because I never went to claim the ticket.
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, I didn't call because of the ticket. I was like, I just
You
called.
wanted to give your opinion.
Yeah, because they were like, everybody that goes on the line, it is always like 5 seconds. Like, oh, what's your name? What do you think? Oh, no.
Oh, they had you for a minute?
They had me for like a time. They had me for a minute there. Like,
I think I might have heard that too.
Yeah, we probably heard that on the radio.
I don't know. It was like, what do you think about this? Because when you call, someone answers the phone, but it's not them.
Yeah.
It's the producer. He's like, oh.
Screen.
He's like, yeah, what are you gonna say? And it's like, oh, it's like, you know what? I like your idea. You're going for the last.
Oh, shit.
So
how did you feel?
So I'm on the phone, and you could hear everybody talk, because you hear the radio on your phone.
Were you driving or were you at
Actually,
home?
I was driving.
This is like, wait, hold on.
So you can't be on speaker. That's why I have to
Yeah.
be like this. I'm like, damn. So the whole time I'm like, damn. You could hear the people talking and everything. And then the guy's like, all right, you're up next after the ad. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh no, we're here with, what's his name again? It's something like that. It said Jaquin. I'm like, oh, say dímelo Jaquin, something like that. And I was like, what do you think? I was like, no, I think you guys are wrong.
This is. was this in Spanish?
Yes.
Okay,
So the whole
okay.
time it's like, oh, yo pienso que ustedes están mal, you know. Tienen que ayudar primero a la gente que está adentro antes de ayudar afuera.
Yeah.
And then I was like, ¿cómo que tú piensas así? Que esta gente está afuera, you know, they're kids. I'm like, well, who told them to become with
Bring
the
it.
kids?
Thank you.
It's like,
Thank you.
you bring your kids to that suffering? It's like, I've heard stories, people crossing jungles and everything.
Yes, bro.
And people screaming in those jungles, and you don't. Like for instance, before you enter the jungle, like the Panama jungle, like Costa Rica, anything, you start with a group.
Yeah.
That group starts getting smaller.
My biggest issue with that whole debacle, like, you remember the caravan, the Salvadorian
Yeah.
caravan? That was, like, I have no problem with you immigrating to another country. That's normal. Everyone does it. But when you're bringing your children on that 1,000-mile trek up here walking,
Yeah.
bro, kids were dying, kids were getting kidnapped, and kids were getting, like, abused. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I feel like you're so much luckier coming from countries that are like an island or some shit, because immigrating like that legally is like boats and like or like a plane or some shit. Like,
I don't know how I don't know how it works for like
coming from DR,
Dominican Republic
coming
exactly.
From Cuba and coming from DR was like the only way to get here from DR would be like
Shipping containers and stuff?
Would be like some shit like that, some wild shit like that, or yeah, like some boating or
Regardless of any of that, like let's say even the people in the islands, like you're bringing your kids would still be a problem. Like you know what I'm saying? It's the whole thing. Like you want us to save your kids, fine, but okay, we take your kids. We're gonna send you back. What happens to your kids? They don't have any parents. They don't have anywhere to go. They're stuck here, and then what?
Well, it's not just that. Now it's your tax money. Instead of your tax money being used somewhere where it has to be used correctly. Like, mind you, our tax money goes to
bullshit anyway. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it goes like into all this unnecessary things. Like, when you have you ever seen, like, for instance, like when you open your door to the street, you fix the street today, and then 4 months later they're fixing it again.
Yeah.
Because they need to use the budget up, correct?
Yeah.
That's why they do it.
That's not the only reason. That's why I used to get mad when 26th Street used to get blocked off every morning. Because I used to live on 60th Street to go to the high school. Bro, every day he'd have to go through New York Ave, and then I had to walk from all the way over there to the high school.
Yo,
and we were already
they
late.
fixed my block 8 times a year.
And it's not fixed?
And, no, my street, they fix it 8 times a year. The block literally right next to it, like right before you cross that intersection, the biggest pothole. Never been fixed.
That's how it is.
They've never done it. They've just constantly fixed my street for no reason.
That's
for 8 years.
That's always been my problem with, like, because they always say if you really want to make change, or if you want to see change, start with your local governments. Usually that's where you see the most change affected.
That's where we go back to, like, the mayor.
Yeah. So I don't have a problem with, like, I can see what he's doing. You know, I understand what he's trying to do, but definitely the budgets are like off because there's a bunch of shit that is not going as planned, and you can see it, like you said, with the roads, with the school programs that are like shutting down now that we had as kids, like they're gone now, bro. There's problems here.
The amount of contracts that they made,
like the recreational ones are getting, some of them are getting shut down.
When we were in school, like all those computers and shit that they own, they bought instead of renting them. So the computers that were shit when we were there, that were from like 2006. We had in 2018. So when you guys are gonna when you leave, they're gonna finally buy new computers, and then 8 years from now they're gonna be obsolete because they're just gonna be garbage.
The crazy part about that too is like, let's say the mayor gives them a budget, right? The Board of Ed. Apparently, I don't know if this is true about the laptop. Someone had told me this, but they have a contract with Apple to only receive Apple products, which is fine, right? But are you checking these contracts? Because we need upgrades, bro. Dude, you have a school that's overflowing.
Those contracts are to own, not to rent.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Makes sense why they buy them.
It's overflow. The school is overflowing, and we're accepting more students from outside cities, which is nonsense. You shouldn't be doing that.
Well, remember, we're in a public place, a public school. The more diverse it is, the more budget you get.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of kids from Jersey City.
I guess, but like that, the Jersey City. Like I was on 60th Street. They went to West New York, right? I was on 60th Street because I've been in Union City my whole life, and I was not gonna switch that. You know what I'm saying? But to have a kid from like Patterson, which I've heard stories of like kids taken or getting driven from there to here, getting kids from like deep Jersey City, like past, you know, the Pulaski, like past that street. That's crazy.
I need some people from like Passaic and shit.
That's insane.
Why the fuck are you?
Why are you here?
This girl I know wakes up at 5 just to come here.
That's insane, and it's not like it's even that good of a school.
No, it wasn't.
It's not.
I mean, I hated the fact that I had classes in the AEA in the high school, because I had classes on the 4th floor, on the AEA, and walk all the way to 4th floor in the high school.
Top 10 football field though in the world. Across the states. Sorry, across the states, not the world. Across the states. How do I know that? Instagram. You already know. Credible source.
But I mean, it just goes back to that. And then, if change was to happen, I feel like he's been in power for too long, and I feel like
It's time to take him down.
No, not take him down, but maybe
Maybe talk to him or something.
him introduce or someone to be like, hey, I'm gonna be a mayor, someone within the city, someone that understands the people. Cause
Yeah, but that's been like almost everybody.
yeah, but this person would have to be different. I mean, I feel like that person is in this city or in the next city or whatever, wherever this person is, he's local, and he knows that he can make a change in this world.
I feel like it's impossible to take down that image he's already built in like the mind
Well,
of
you're
all
like,
of our Hispanic
I wouldn't say that you would take
Free
it off.
turkeys?
You would be smart and you would partner with him, and you would be like, hey, you know, you've been here. I mean, like and Brian P. Stack got passed down to where he is now, if I'm not mistaken.
So
You know, it's always been passed down to someone in that line. But I feel if change has to start, it needs to be like a person that knows this place more than ever, understands the values, understands the struggles. The people could relate to him.
It would have been tiempo.
You know, it's not more about that who gives what. I give you turkeys, I give you this, because that's always gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because you could just call companies and it's a tax write-off. I donated 2 million turkeys, and that's it. You could always get all of that funding still, but it has to be a person within. Change people. It's like I feel like a president shouldn't be someone that's family's been running forever, or if you're famous or you have money, or you're an actor. You know, I don't feel we need that type of people president. I feel like one day we will get a president that was from the scratch, from the bottom, grew up, no ties to politics or whatsoever. He just decided to one day change and learn, and started as a mayor, started as a senator, started as a state whatever, and then one day ran, and he'll get it because he that person is gonna be the person that changes this country and unite us now. And I feel like we're getting there one day, because with everything that's going on right now is the separation.
Yeah.
Right now we're in the phase of separation. The next phase would be with the next president. The reality is like, oh, you know what?
We gotta look at what's going on.
I feel like and I feel like
like
America back then. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's not good.
It was
It's your interview.
Huh?
It's your interview.
I feel like America back then was looked as something high and people were scared of and respected. You go to a different country now, you talk about America, they laughed about it.
Yeah.
They don't respect it anymore. And I feel like America needs to go back to that. Now, I'm not saying everything, no. I'm just saying the name, United States of America, needs to have
the same weight.
No, I'm not.
No.
What I'm trying to say is that people don't respect,
Yeah.
the name. Back then it was like, people respected us for what we've done. Now it's like, it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's like, everything is like...
Remember when they did, when we were in, I think going into middle school or going into high school, where they did those polls about, I think, Finland was leading in, all those, categories of, academics and shit, and we were, 13? And out of all the countries or what?
I think right now we're even probably below that.
We're super good.
It's pretty bad. You're right. It has become laughable. I think the biggest problem we've had is focusing on social issues that don't even fucking matter. Bringing things to light that shouldn't even be brought to light.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too deep into it because there's some shit that I really that really bothers me. Like getting kids involved and stuff like that into social issues. That's always been a problem for me. I don't even know why it's even a thought. But if you're right, I don't know. I don't see it turning around anytime soon. To be honest, I don't.
Trust me. That person is in the city.
I mean, I hope. I really do hope that. Because with the proxy war that they're in now, with Russia and all that, it's pretty embarrassing with the shit that's going on now.
Dude,
all this money we're wasting.
I feel like what you say about there being a president, or there gonna be a president one day that's gonna be able to actually handle that job. I don't really agree with that, because I don't feel like there should be I feel like the whole job as a president is bullshit anyway. We should have more than one person take that role. There's there's too much fucking power in that one role.
Well,
and it also I feel like we should also give the same amount of attention to the other roles like Congress and all this.
No,
other
the
shit.
powers are definitely
And-
separated for
No,
sure.
I
I think
mean,
they are. Like
From the start, our founding fathers, that's
The
why
same
never
amount-
gave the power completely to the president.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. But I mean, like, we should give the same amount of attention we give to like being president and like the election and all that to like like all the elections for Congress and all these other roles that also matter. That give because like if the president wants to sign some shit, he has to pass it over to Congress most of the time, depending on what it is, obviously.
But that's where
Or,
his
like-
team comes in. The person that person that would be running for president would have a team allocated correctly.
yeah.
Like, we're gonna do
like
this,
when
this, and
Trump
that.
went in, he like put everybody into his
His own
cabinet.
bracket.
and
You
all
have
that, right?
you pick your own cabinet.
Correct.
Unfortunately,
But that's what I'm
like
saying,
if you're president,
The
that's
public, the main mass public doesn't like. I had no idea who the fuck Trump had in his cabinet, who he was bringing in.
Oh, he had a lot of
I just knew
pieces of
about
shit,
Trump.
to be honest.
I just knew I just saw the main bullshit on the screen. I feel like we kind of like make it like a reality TV show instead of like here's the info, here's the stats, here's the.
But that's what he's
who's
saying.
running
That needs to change.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That needs to change. No more president that's a businessman. No more presidents that are actors. Like we've had presidents that are actors in the past.
Ronald Reagan.
You know, we've had presidents that their family's been running. You know, they have bloodline or something. No, we need someone new that is going to change this, and that change starts from mayor to senator to all of
Yeah.
this because people are going to follow you. But like, oh, you have this new mayor that I heard is doing good. You know, then senators approach you, congressmen approach you. It's like, hey, you know, I think you have what it takes to change. But then, at the long run, many people are good, but corruption comes in.
Yeah.
Or
The money.
the money. And then you can't do much. But I'm saying, we're getting to a point where it's like the awakening. People are starting to realize we're separating each other. We're all humans at the end of the day. We all want the same thing. We all want our rights. Your rights are different than mine, just like yours and yours and yours and everybody's in this country. But we need to understand something. They're all humans. And no one is perfect. Now I'm not saying that crime should be forgiven. No, I'm not even talking about that. Because people misunderstand you nowadays when you're talking like that. Or they jump ahead and they're like, oh, why are you talking about that? I'm like, wait, let me finish. Like, if from where it starts on the bottom is getting people to sit in the table or or whatever. It was like,
And
hey,
listen.
what I have to say first. Let me hear your side. Let me hear what do you want? What do you see? How do you see your world, right? Because it's your world at the end of the day, you know. It's like, and then you tell me how do you see it? What do you want? And then tell them you can't all get what you want,
Yeah,
but
like
you could
common
get
ground.
common things to tackle. It's like the thing is this. We focus on everybody, and this America, United States focuses on problems outside of the country instead of focusing on the problems within. We give Israel money for them not to go to civil war with another country. That's not our problem.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, it's not.
In my opinion,
Oh,
that's something that has been going on since before Jesus was born. Like if we talk like this, so why do I have to give you money? So I'm funding you for you to make nuclear power, stuff like that, you know. So I'm funding you theoretically for then one day you're gonna be this mass giant now and my threat. When in reality,
Yeah, because you're just giving them money.
Oh, you don't
to
have
tell
any
them,
more money
please
from me anymore?
Don't do it.
exactly. Like, oh, you have money for me, so it's like just like that, you know.
All this money that you've been giving us, we've been stacking it up, buying weapons.
Yeah,
For
and
the
it's
war
like
that you don't want us to start.
it's like the Ukraine and Russia. That's a whole separate other
It's
thing.
just like an elongated grace period.
It's like the mainstream media works like this.
America's paying for time.
First, it's COVID, Ukraine. COVID is back with flu. Ukraine, you don't hear anything about it. So this is gone, right? Because the numbers are gone. Ukraine is now attacking. So it's like why they're feeding you what they want you to see. You know? And nowadays, like movies, or content creators, everything, social media, like anything in general, is a script. It's for them to get you, but very few people that are being successful are being targeted because they're saying what they want. And if I do a podcast one day and I decide to talk, and like, if I do a podcast one day, because I've been thinking about doing a podcast, I'm gonna invite all types of people. transgender, and I want to view their world like transgender people.
I know. I just
queers,
I like that you
everything.
let the list was off there. It's like transgender.
Well, I'm trying to say I'm getting by all types of
I know what
people,
you mean,
like immigrants, senators, or something like build something like that to view. You see the picture, see the world from your perspective,
Yeah.
and then try to understand. Why do you see it like that? And then I'm gonna tell you how I view it. And if I don't agree with you, you have to respect that. And a lot of places, like you let them speak, and then once you start saying what you want to say, it's like they get mad and they leave.
Yeah.
They need to understand to hear you also.
But that's what I was talking about, like the social issues that we focus on now. It's just like it's stuff like that where we're not hearing each other out. We're just jumping to our own conclusions, and then we walk away from the situation. That's all it is. I really hope you're right. I really do. Right now at least I don't see a future where someone is leading. You know, that a proper leader.
Because that leader, there needs to be a person to guide them and to awaken them.
I think so too.
And I honestly, I had a vision one time.
Are you that leader?
No,
I'm going to Virginia. We need that.
Do you want to be that leader?
No, this is a lot of responsibility. I had a vision that my podcast could be successful because I want to implement certain things to it. Like I was actually spending time to this. I was obsessed with it too much that I had written down everything, the questions that I was gonna ask, what type of people that I want, hearing Democrats, Republicans, like everything. Because nowadays, I feel like once you hear about certain names, you don't hear about it anymore. But in the podcast that I was going to create, it was going to be like, it's going to be mine. If you don't like it, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
If you want to cancel me, try ahead. Go ahead. I don't care. So like go out with it. Go with it. Like I don't care.
We've said some pretty cancelable. Well, I've said some pretty cancelable things in this podcast.
You know,
and I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck.
It's like
I want to go on like the road of completely removing the censorship and just letting
So do
them
I.
go out.
Because
But
at this
like-
point, because we joke around a lot.
But
Yeah.
YouTube is a little.
That's the thing.
on that.
it's all about this. Like I said, it's a script. I'll tell you what. Andrew Tate is always a big topic, right?
Mm.
Have you ever seen before the scenes before Andrew Tate got canceled? Him and Logan were friends. As soon as that happened, Logan stepped up. The script was like, "Hey, you're gonna be the guy targeting these kids now, so I need you to talk bad about him." There's evidence about this too.
Yeah.
That's why he's doing this, because his numbers are going up. Because since you removed Andrew Tate from the platforms, well, these kids were following him. Well, now they need someone else to follow. So now it's gonna be you, and we're gonna give you the money now.
Have you seen his latest episode of his? I don't know if you watch his podcast.
I do see podcasts, and I haven't seen his lately, but I saw a preview of it, and it was just observed, and
It was weird. He was talking to a friend of his that was Arabic, and he was Muslim. He was practicing Muslim. Yeah, and he was just like attacking him out of nowhere, claiming that guy, the George guy, like hates gay people and that their religion is automatically wrong, and this. It was crazy. I didn't watch the whole podcast, but he was coming off very aggressive and very standoffish.
Whose podcast?
Logan Paul.
It's like the that's what I'm saying. The impulsive law, impulsive.
Impulsive,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Impulsive Paul.
well, whatever the.
It's called impulsive. Yeah.
They were meant for that.
Oh.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever heard the Full Send podcast.
The what?
Full Send podcast. Milk.
No, I don't.
They have a podcast, and I forgot who was speaking there, but they like Mr. Beast. They brought in Mr. Beast. And then there's another one called Flagrant.
Oh,
Yeah.
Andrew.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they
That's
also
the
brought
only
in
one I
Mr.
watch.
Beast.
That one and occasionally.
And they do. He does bring in, quite a lot of good things that in this podcast he doesn't care.
Schultz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't
But
care.
that's exactly why I want to go that route.
Because the reason he's being successful is, and it was comedian, and it was everything in his career, because of the way he is.
Yeah.
He's a new guy that is like, hey, fuck you.
Well,
I don't care. This is my platform. If
he
you don't
used-
like it, get out.
he used the internet to his advantage. Like
Yes.
he was one of the first comedians to really fly out with the internet like that. He was video after video after video. You know, his take on this, his take on politics, his take on everything. I like him, like, not too much. I like his podcast. I don't like his comedy. Or,
I do like his.
I don't even like him as a guest on other podcasts, to be honest. But I like when he brings on people that are cool. I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan, to be honest, and I listen to a lot of
like you see Joe Rogan style, like he brings in anybody type of people,
anybody,
and he
like,
hears
literally.
you out. But when it's time for him to speak, you gotta listen.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna tell you, okay, you identify as a man, and I see you as a woman, as a clearly. But you need to understand that that's how I see you, and you can't do anything about it.
He's clear and concise with what he's gonna say.
Correct.
And his thoughts are always one way. You know, you can never. People try to get him, like they do that gotcha thing on him. They never do though. Like I respect him a lot.
He's built podcasts. He's actually like one of the founders of why podcasts are
as big.
Yes.
Well, look at his.
That's
deal.
why Spotify can't remove him.
No, he's been out for too long.
Yes, the cancel culture comes to target him, but Spotify is not gonna let him go.
No.
Yeah, and that was funny too. That thing where they were like, "Well, if you don't get Joe Rogan off this platform, I'm gonna get off of it." And the guy had like 8 songs.
Yeah, it was people that are like,
He had, like
not
more,
even famous.
He had like more
like,
on YouTube than
But
he did on fucking.
why is it that when now they're telling you, my opinion, you don't want to hear it?
Yeah.
It's like, I follow a lot of Daily Wire.
Okay.
And
Ben Shapiro.
Yeah,
stuff
Ben
like that.
Shapiro and all
Candace
these.
Owens.
I'm not saying I support them.
No, I get it. I like Ben Shapiro.
But I view the world in my way. You know, it doesn't mean that you have to see my world, you know, in your eyes.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but have you seen the I Am a Woman thing?
Yeah.
You saw it? I haven't watched it. Is it good?
Yes.
I want to watch it.
It's good.
It's a good.
It's the reason that that one did really good is because he didn't want to focus because it's a documentary. In other words, but he wanted to do it as a comedian perspective.
Yeah.
And that's why it did really good. Like, I don't know if you ever seen the scores on it.
It's doing good. It's doing good numbers for a website movie. Like, it's crazy.
It could have gone to the movie theaters.
Yeah.
And still done
And they didn't want
better.
it. They didn't want it.
Because the media is afraid.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm saying, that if I was to do my podcast,
It's called I'm a Woman.
it's a good...
What's his name? Fuck, I forgot his name. He's like a journalist Matt Walsh at the Daily Wire. And you know they criticize them a lot for being like a right wing type of media.
I'll put it to you like
service.
this: his last 3 children books have been top 1 in the Amazon.
Nice.
I'm a Walrus. That's one of them. And it's all about, you know, kids' books and him
You didn't go
teaching
very
you.
far from the title.
No, it's a kid that's saying, "Hey, mom, I want to be a walrus today," and I'm a walrus, and that's basically saying, "Hey, mom, I want to be a girl today."
Yeah.
In other words, but
Yeah.
that book did so successful that even the left side was buying it because it's sending a strong message out.
I think there's some things with that guy Matt Walsh that I don't agree with.
You don't have to agree with
But
that.
you don't have to agree with everything.
don't.
That's the beauty of like ideas, where you don't have to agree with everything. I like the movie a lot. I
It's
saw
like maybe
some
he likes
clips.
a pink hat and I don't.
Yeah.
You know, but it's
Are you targeting?
I'm not gay.
And if you are, there's no problem.
There's no problem with that.
That's what people don't
Yeah.
understand. It's like
Exactly.
it's like all of this, like Black Lives Matter, or all of these groups that got separated. It's like, why do we always have to say Black Lives Matter?
Yeah.
All lives matter.
But it's not even that. Let's say, all right, let's take the ideas out of it. Why is it that a foundation has to start to support a minority group and then take all the money and buy mansions without supporting their minority group? Like, we're not asking questions here. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck are you doing?
I get you. Yeah.
What are you doing? Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. It's gotten to the point that it's too many. There's too many now groups of this, and that. And it's like, I was hearing a podcast when I was coming here about a guy saying that Asian discrimination doesn't exist, and it exists within the own community, apparently, something like that.
Like Hispanics.
Yes, and the guy was bringing out some fair points, but at the same time, unfortunately, there are some bad humans that exist.
I was watching a podcast. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine.
But there's a comedian that I like a lot. 2 comedians, Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee. They have a podcast named Bad Friends. You know, they're just a comedy duo thing. And the guy Andrew Santino is a white, red-haired, you know, ginger. Bobby Lee's an Asian.
Yeah.
He's Korean. And Santino shows him a video of an Asian girl that says if you're if you're a group of friends, in a minority group of friends, and you want to invite your white friend, you have to let each and every one of those individual white.
I saw.
You
the
saw that?
video
It's
with
like
the
you have
white
to
girl.
know. You have to let your minority friends know that you're gonna bring a white friend, because I don't know if I want him to join us, because I don't want to deal with white shenanigans and that thing. It's like, well, what is that? That's hatred.
It's reverse racism.
Yeah.
They started with them themselves.
Well, not reverse. It's just racism, but like they're reversing the racism. It's like you were racist before, and now I
get to
now
be
it's my turn. It's like what the fuck?
How we doing?
Wasn't the
on
whole point on
Well, like
on
140.
equality?
I think it's a good place to stop.
Alright, I thought you guys were talking about terms for racism. What happened?
Oh,
My turn.
do you want
No,
me to tell you? That?
no, it's true.
We good here? You good?
Yeah, we can end it if you want. Would you have
Joaquin,
any closing
do you have
remarks?
any closing remarks? Anything you want to say?
Not much. Thank you for having me, guys.
No, bro, you're the
course.
best, bro. Everyone we've had on is the best. Well,
Something.
should we? Can I mute this real quick? Well, we can pause it or
Nah,
something.
I don't care. I
You
don't
okay?
care enough to address it.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Okay, cool. I think what you were talking about, leadership, uniting people, and living your own life to the fullest. Everybody can agree on that, and I'm glad that we can all have that common ground of like we want to live a better life. And I don't know, man. I hope we get somewhere with this podcast, with your things. I don't know.
We're still one up, but I want to collab. No
Yeah, for real. If
questions
you do,
asked.
let me know, bro.
I'll just-
Because we can talk about this shit. Yo, I can talk about shit like this for hours. I'm telling you.
You know what happened in 40 Street?
Yeah. Let's end it right there.
I moved down to Union City.
Pose.
But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.